I say, no, that's fine. You have to feel like it, no problem. Then the four of us went out to look for an apartment. I didn't know Sao Paulo. I think he already knew.
He went looking for that.
Let me see if I remember now here.
Chacara Flora, which is one of the chic condominiums in Sao Paulo. Then the realtor stopped by my wife. The realtor took it, showed it, then went to another condominium, and in this other condominium, the guy showed an apartment of one per floor, which was simply stunning for rent. Then his wife liked it a lot, the Estella, he liked it too. Then he said, no, so we're going to keep this, let's rent this. I don't know the rent values now, I don't remember. But then the realtor took it and said, look, now if you want, here on the 5th floor there's one that's for sale, just like it. Let's see. Then he went to see. Real estate the way it is, the guy sells with everything inside. He saw it, liked it and said, let's make a deal like this. How much is the price? The guy said, it's $1,200,000. Then we went to the real estate office. He had a check for $200,000 as a down payment, and he had to go on Monday to settle the balance. I don't know how the parent of this balance was in sight. It was divided into a few times. I don't know. I can't lie. I can't say something I'm not aware of. But he bought it. And then we went home. I've always been very real, you know? I was never afraid to talk to him. I always respected. I never disrespected. But he told my wife that with Carlinos, I have to. When I deal with things with Carlinos, we have to walk on eggshells because he has a very strong personality and he likes to speak the truth a lot and he respected me for that. I think he never liked those who speak the truth. For he was frank, but with me he liked it because of the following. Once he put on a wig. This wig was molded and it looked ridiculous. And everyone, when he came from the United States, everyone praised him. He was very good, very good, very good, very good. Then on a certain occasion he called me in New York. Because he was very alone there, it's cold, snowy season. Then he said, man, I want to ask you a question but answer the truth I say, because not everyone is complimenting my turkey, and he said he doesn't like it. What do you think? Was it good or was it bad? I say, it's ridiculous, man. That is, the guy on the porch. I'm not telling you, it's all Bujazik. He's ridiculous, 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 ridiculous. And from there he took off the wig, you know? I believe, that's what I think. A small detail, he looked like that. He liked me because I spoke the truth. Once we were at a posada in Rio Quente. There we were, inside the thermal pools and such. When I was talking about the church, the offertory grew. Then Bishop Goncalves came up with the idea. Bishop, how about we stay a couple of months? Only the leader of each church hold meetings. The helper does nothing. And the leader doing it, the people listen more, the offers will grow. And I at the same time intervene. I say, boy, this is crazy, Bisco. No one can handle it. It's very pulled. Having 2 meetings a day is already a lot. It breaks the person's physique, the wear, like 2 hours ago talking. Then Goncalves says like this, that's it, said Carlos. Carlos is going to be the leader of the pastors' union, taking out the Londos, you know? But I was the only one who spoke. If I thought it was wrong, I said, no, I don't agree, it's wrong. And it explained why. And few times he did not accept. I believe that 99 and the normal inside he accepted. No, Carlos is right. Carlos is right. That aroused a lot of envy against me in the middle, you know? Very jealous. Only it was that camouflaged thing. I felt. I mean, he was doing it to pester me, but... There. When we got home, I remember it as if it were yesterday. 30 years had passed. We went into the kitchen, and do they have coffee there, Carlinos? I mean, yes, warm. Then I made a coffee for him, a coffee for me. Estea and my wife went upstairs. The stairs went upstairs to the bedrooms. And I have something worrying me, and I said, man, I want to talk to you about something. He said, you can talk.
He said, are you not going to make it or not?
But I'm going to say it because I'm having this bothering me.
He said, no, stop, man, you can talk, little car.
I said, look, starting today, I won't be able to ask for more offerings in the church.
Did the teacher say that to him?
I spoke. I said that to him. Why?
I say, because, Bicho, look at this, it's only giving space for the bosses to eat, everyone pains, car, bad sacrifice comes. The people are giving La Joya, and I only buy an apartment for $1,200,000. $1,200,000 was a lot of money. At the time it was a lot of money, a lot of money. A lot of money. If it were today to give more than 6 million reais, what would I ask you? Not cutting their line of reasoning when you told him that he wasn't going to ask for more because you saw that he was wasting it, right?
That's what I believe I'm seeing here. I was going to ask you here, because on the occasion, if I'm sorry to cut your reasoning, that you mentioned in the report for TV Globo, at the time that you gave that report, which you didn't have, the leadership of the institution, especially Macedo, had no respect for donations from the faithful. I was going to ask you to cite some examples of what was spent at the time, and when you talk about apartment he bought there, like, he gave 200,000 and the rest you don't know how it was paid another $1,200,000, right? $200,000, so $1,200,000 at the time was what Cruzeiro real, what was the currency?
I think it was real, right? It was real already, right?
Real. So it was a lot of money. A lot of money. And I was going to ask you if you had an example of any other expense, or expense that you had seen, from Macedo's daily life, from Lidesa Universal, which you thought was also obviously part of it, because you are that same subject, right, of faith, participate there, eat there too. Well, you're out of it, I don't know what.
Well, when I said that, now it needs to be something very important, which has to be recorded for history.
See.
And he turns to me and says, Carlinos, pay attention to what I'm going to say to you.
We are part of the dome of the church.
We are the dome. You are no longer that little dog from the northeast. You have to see things with different eyes. We have to have a different standard of living. We are going to receive deputies, maybe even presidents. So we have to live well. We have to live well. You have to have the best car. So you have to stop with that northeastern mentality. That's what he said to me. Then that was like a cold shower, you know? I said no more, but was deeply distressed.
Why?
First, when I joined the church, I didn't join to earn money. On the contrary, I sacrificed an already stabilized life. I was already at the top of the pyramid. Unlike those others who came in with nothing, it was all a bunch of Zé Mané, who dealt drugs, messed with things in the hills of Rio. I'm not saying that Zé Maneto lives and dies. Those I mentioned, later called animals, they weren't anything.
Yes. Nothing.
So, for them, paying with their lives, they didn't pass. They are capable of giving their lives for that.
And truth.
Me, when I entered and started my life there, I called my wife and said, look, we're going.
I have a criterion.
Because I started to see Bicho Rodriguez live in Salvador at meetings. He lived in a movie mansion. And once he said, that rascal, you have to live well. You have to look for a mansion in Recife, in Fortaleza, I don't know what.
And I had, at my own risk, established like this. I only rent a house up to the amount I would pay if I were at Nucleobras.
Did you understand?
See?
For example, if I was at Nucleobras and I could pay 2,000 reais in rent, then here at the church I'm going to rent a bunch of 2,000 reais, even if there are people renting for 10. And my wife has always been very sincere, too. Okay, perfect.
I say that this is my issue with God. I don't agree with these things. I don't think people should be incomplete of the things of God.
And there always was.
And I won't tell you today, which is a lot. but I'm going to tell you how God manifested himself in my life. People even found something unbelievable.
May God honor our faith, our purity of soul, our listless attitudes, right?
This is something that comes from kissing.
Eu não. I don't care what you put, you're putting it. I remember what you said to me the first time I spoke to you by phone. It was yesterday. It seems to me, it was this week before.
From the end of the year.
You said something to me that I didn't. For us not to open just a parenthesis here, you said that you didn't leave Universal, and not even that, you were taken by God, right? You were removed, right?
It's true. No one leaves there on their own accord.
Exactly. Now, let me ask.
And I will exemplify for you why I say this.
Yes, sir.
Very quickly, so you can capture the spirit of the thing.
Huh?
I had a pastor who was my subordinate here in the Northeast, called Antonio Carlos. This pastor had been a bank teller. He was a bank teller.
Yes.
Sounded shepherd.
And at the time when I made a lot of trips to Israel, there was only one pastor from Rio and Sao Paulo. And I was the pioneer to demand that I take someone from the Northeast, which was a lot of discrimination.
Until he agreed.
He said, so on the next trip you choose one, and I chose Antonio Karen, you know? Antonio Karen went. He went to be the pastor and so on, and then at the time he needed a pastor for Rio Preto, Ribeirão Preto. Then he said, Carlinos, release that pastor who is going to travel, because I'm going to need him here.
And I released. But the shepherd was. And it didn't work.
It didn't support the church, as I said, it didn't support the collection. Then he sent the pastor back.
And from then on the pastor was very displeased. As if he had been defeated, right?
And he would talk to me all the time, with Pastor Claw.
I think I'm going to leave. I think I'm going back to being a banker. He said, no boy, if that's the way it is, if it's nonsense, soon God will put you in your place, okay?
He said he was going. I think I'm going back to be a banker.
Once, on a Saturday afternoon, I called the bishop so that the president could talk. Then I told him that I was worried, that I think we were going to lose this pastor.
He said, don't lose, man, don't worry. Don't even shake your head. I called more bishop. He's saying all the time that he's going to leave, that he's going back to the bank. Carmo, I'm telling you he won't come back.
How is it that you are so sure?
Then he said, look, how much does a bank teller earn? 2,000, 3,000, I don't remember at the time. I don't remember the time.
I said, how much does this boy earn? He earns 10 times more. Will he drop it?
Don't let go, Carlos. Even this emotional blackmail, don't worry, look, see?
Pastor Carlos, I wish I could take a break, because we also got here 45 minutes later. This subject is coming in there. We will continue in the next video, okay, Pastor?